Hi there, welcome to I Alone Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Aries energy. I'm at a different location and I don't have my tripod, but I got some cards, so we're going to do some readings. And apparently I was holding my deck upside down, but I guess everything has a purpose. We have a coffin in reverse, sudden wealth in reverse, and a message. Now I'm going to turn my deck upright and we'll continue on with the story of what might be going on in Aries energy. And we're going to read this from different perspectives because people can either harness high vibe Aries energy or they can harness low vibe Aries energy. So I think I'll put that one there and then we'll go here. So we have coffin reverse, sudden wealth reverse, message reverse, journey, imprisonment, main female, expectation, high honor, message of concern, and the gift. And the reason for the reading is despair. Well, I would definitely say with the message reverse, someone isn't communicating and they're going on a journey. Well, in high vibe, people weren't willing to put an end to their dreams. And if they had things in their life by worldly standards that were very abundant, they were willing to let go of those things and to maybe stop communicating. Maybe they knew people in their life who make decisions in their life out of past pain and heartbreak. Because this card kind of reminds me of the Five of Cups, which is feeling, that you worked together with people and then people maybe ignored your love or people didn't offer you love. And, if we don't learn to love ourselves and give ourselves all the things that we wish other people would have given us, we can keep making decisions out of pain and heartbreak or defensiveness. Sometimes you can work with people who, in relationships or whatever, who do things that cause you pain and heartbreak. And sometimes it is to manipulate you and stop you from moving forward in your life, to feel like, your dream is over, that, that you don't have their love anymore or the abundance that they thought they were providing in your life, and they can quit communicating with you. And it can all be to keep you in despair so that you don't keep moving forward in your life. And I think some high vibe people said, I am not going to let people who are acting in an unloving, unjust, unfair manner or fearful, insecure thoughts, whatever, stop me. I'm not putting an end to my dreams. If I used to think something was very abundant, I don't see it as abundant anymore. And I'm going to quit communicating with those people. And if it's just your own ego and your fear that tried to keep you in despair from moving forward, you're not communicating with your more fearful, insecure nature anymore. You're going on a journey to break free. In the imprisonment card, you're no longer going to be enslaved. The feminines in tarot can talk about our emotional state. If there was, it's interesting, we have a dualistic nature and we have a dualistic emotional foundation. There's a foundation of ourself that wants to keep repeating patterns of the past because we all have fear and insecurity about moving forward in our life, detaching from jobs, moving away from home, moving to a new place where we know no one, leaving friend groups, Our fear and our insecurity can keep us focused on the past and people of our past, where we feel limited and restricted and oppressed and confined and limited. And our fearful, egoic nature tries to do that to us. And then there's people in the world who basically kind of represent our shadow energy out in the world. It's like, oh, are you fearful and insecure? Let's get in a relationship. Oh, do you not know your worth and value? Great. Let's bond. Come work for me, And you're like, how long am I going to stay aligning with my own fears and insecurities, because that opens up the door for people to come in my life who basically come in my life to teach me a lesson, to learn to stand up for myself and to love myself and believe in myself. Am I willing to be in my fear and insecurity and stay imprisoned, or am I going to break free? And you're going on a journey of breaking free from your own fears and insecurities. You're facing down your more emotionally fearful, insecure energy with your more loving energy. Because we've all got a dualistic nature within us of love and hope and faith and belief, and fear and insecurity and pride and ego. And there's people in our life who don't want us to believe in ourselves. And if they're going to try to stop you because they want to move forward in a relationship with you because it would be good for their ego and their image, you could be letting them know that you've accepted the gift of love and you're no longer in despair about them. You have been looking back at them hoping they would free themselves. And if they haven't freed themselves and they see that you're moving forward, they might want to be back in a relationship with you because you seem to be the successful person in the world. They could have left you before to go get in a relationship with someone else who seemed to be more successful, because if that's what was driving and what they were imprisoned by was money and materialism and pride and ego and immaturity and indulgence, that could have seemed like a good idea back then. But now that you overcame your pain and heartbreak and you're moving forward, they might be looking back at you saying, maybe I should move forward with you. But they're concerned because they don't know if you have broken free from your past pain and heartbreak from them. They don't know if you've accepted the gift of love and loving and believing in yourself. Some of them could have went to go get in a relationship with someone else because they maybe felt like they'd missed an emotional opportunity with someone in their past, and they were still kind of attached to those people in their life. You know, maybe they felt like they'd missed an emotional opportunity to have money and materialism and status and image. So they weren't willing to put an end to making their life about money and materialism. So they let go of what had a lot of loving abundance that they could have went on a journey of life with. But they're still chained to the past and repeating patterns of the past because there's lessons that they haven't learned yet about freeing themselves from that. So you could have been looking back at them, wishing that they would free themselves and move forward and take a gift of love to free themselves. But sometimes people don't, and we've got to accept that people still let their fear and their ego or whatever run their life, let their more worldly, materialistic nature run their life. You know, high vibe Aries energy are people who are willing to be bold and brave and confident in their life. And they're not willing to live in non-life-giving energy of the coffin card. It reminds me of the Scorpio death card. You know, there's nothing more to be grown from there. Have been there, done that. You know, how long can we keep repeating the same old patterns of life without it becoming like stale and stagnant? And it's like, I want to grow. I want to spread my wings. I want to venture out. You know, doesn't mean you have people in your life that, you want to share your ideas with, and, they can do their thing. It's all about growing and maturing ourselves. It's not meaning that we end our relationships with everybody, but, sometimes people don't want to be in relationships with people who step outside of societal norms or don't make your life all about them being the center of attention of your life. Their life? Well, you don't make them the center of attention of your life. It's kind of like, some people are very egocentric. Shadowy Aries energy can be, they want to be the boss. Everybody should orient around them, male or female. And like everybody isn't supposed to be bold and brave and creative and have like their own interests. I'm supposed to be the center of attention. You're supposed to give up on all your dreams because you're in a relationship with me now. It's like, huh? You didn't want to be in things that were stale and stagnant that kind of had you imprisoned Just like you didn't want your own pride and ego and fear and insecurity to keep you imprisoned. So if there's other people in your life who seem to kind of align with that way of thinking, maybe someone who, for some, this could definitely be a female who has money. You weren't willing to let that person keep you enslaved. Or, again, it could be your more emotional ego nature that says you should make your life about money and materialism and status and image, and your worth and value is determined by the clothes that you wear or what you drive or how much money, because otherwise you don't really have any value. And you're like, screw that. You're no longer communicating with those people or that shadow nature within yourself. You're moving forward in high honor. And some people in your life are concerned about that, because if you don't align with your more fearful, insecure, prideful, codependent, lustful, greedy, immature, indulgent nature, they can't be in a relationship with you because they can't manipulate you anymore and play on those things within you. If you align with the energy of love, you're not aligning with letting your ego and your fear run your life. You're letting love run your life. And then the people in your life who don't want to do that work within themselves to be hopeful and believing and love themselves, and they maybe like to live a life of money and materialism, pride and ego, you're like on two different pages of life. It's like you live in parallel universes, you see the world differently. And just like you won't want to be in a relationship with them, they also maybe don't want to be in a relationship with you because they're imprisoned by those things. It kind of also reminds me of, Aries energy can be about, what am I fired up about? What am I inspired by? What motivates me? Well, it can be our worldly nature, money and materialism and ego, or it can be being creative, inspired, and bold and brave and willing to step outside of societal norms, and live a life that, judge away world, I don't need to conform to the world. I'm going to take action and love and joy in my life. I'm going to go live my life authentically, and I don't give a crap what you think. Oh, am I not living life the way you live it? Oh, am I not wearing the right clothes or driving the right car or making my life all about ego and image and trying to keep up with the Joneses? Sorry, you can play that game. I'm not interested. Well, they don't like that when you do that because it can kind of make them feel bad about how they live their life. But some people are still imprisoned by that and emotionally imprisoned by it. And that makes me think of the World card, which is represented by Capricorn energy. And Capricorn energy is about, what are we going to put work and effort into? What do we think is a legacy worth building in our life? Some people think it's all about money and materialism and doing things the way we've always done it, not changing, not growing, not maturing, rejecting love and making it more about money and materialism. And we get imprisoned and enslaved and restricted and confined and limited by our ego and our fear and our insecurity and all those things. And people who are bold and brave don't want to be imprisoned by those things. They want to be free. And high vibe Capricorn energy is people who put in the work and effort to free themselves from those egoic ways of living life, of being petty and envious and jealous and what I have to wear and what I should drive and do I look better than you and blah, 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 blah. You've been hoping some people in your life who might be imprisoned by some things of the world, because also we either put in the work and effort to know our own worth and value and be independent in the world, and we know how to fill our own cup emotionally, or we keep looking outside of ourselves for other people to validate our worth and value, and we look to things in the world to make us feel better instead of us doing that work within ourselves to feel better within ourselves. And those things that we align with out of not doing the work to love ourselves can get a hold of our life, and it feels like we're trapped. There's some people in your life that you wish would love and believe in themselves and offer love to their own past pain and heartbreak and self-limiting beliefs so that they could move forward being proud of themselves and empowering themselves. But some people are unwilling to change, unwilling to put an end to the past. They don't want things to change. They still want to make decisions out of fear of being hurt again, or their judgment is being clouded and there's still someone in their past that has a hold on them, that they feel if they move forward that they will miss an emotional opportunity with that person. So they are emotionally invested in someone and they want to move forward with that person. But I would say I think they also want to repeat patterns of the past. That's why they're not letting go of the past. And that's why they could be attached to certain people in their life. Have you ever been in a relationship where you've almost felt like you were addicted to them? I think the more you feel like you have to have a certain person in your life, it's because that person represents something and a way of being or people in your life that you haven't learned the lesson about yet. And sometimes that lesson is just to love and believe in yourself and give yourself all the things that you wish that person was able to give you. Maybe the people that people are looking back to their past, again, you could love somebody and wish they would detach in the past, but they could love somebody. It's all this thing of going back and back and back. You could love somebody that you wish would free themselves from the past and move forward, but they could be looking back to someone in their past that they wish would free themselves. We've got to see the truth sometimes, The truth is, if it's a romantic relationship, if there's someone in your life who wasn't willing to let go, put an end, a death to the past to move forward with you, they kind of made their free will decision about who they want to be with. And we can be an illusion about them if we want. And even though it hurts and it's painful, if people had the same dream as we did, it can be so many things. Oh, you want to live in this town. Oh, you want to stay here. Oh, you envision life this way. I envision life that way. Sometimes it's just we have different views and we've had different views and philosophies of life. It doesn't mean you don't love someone, but you can love someone, but that your views of life are different. Again, someone wants to live in a high rise in a big city. Someone wants to live in a small town in the country. Someone has always imagined their life being where they go to these type of functions. And other people are like, I've never dreamed. That's not anything in my dream list, You can love people and you just realize you're on different pages. And so, we can also be chained to our dreams. We can also be chained to not willing to grow and learn and mature. And we all have patterns of ways of being that we're not willing to detach from. And just like you could love someone who loves someone else, that person could love someone else or whatever, people just aren't willing to kind of go with the flow. Life is about going with the flow. And if it's not a romantic relationship, there's just people in your life who are kind of chained to some things right now. We wish them peace and love, but we keep moving forward in love and truth and taking action in our life that we can be proud of, acting with character and integrity, not letting our sadness or our grief or our worry keep us from going with the flow of life. And I think, life is all about revealing that people have free will. They make decisions in their life and we have to respect that And the divine knows people's hearts. The divine knows where people are at. The divine knows if certain people are ready to move forward or not, or if they still have some lessons to learn. And if your intuition is telling you it is time to free yourself from some people in your past that you could have an emotional connection with, to keep moving forward, making good decisions in your life, even though you're concerned, trust that the divine has a plan. Keep moving forward in love. Maybe part of what will inspire other people to move forward is you moving forward in a way that they respect and admire. You have hope and faith and belief, and it might make them wonder, why don't I have hope and faith and belief? Why don't I love and treat myself with kindness and encouragement within my own head? Why am I aligning maybe with my more inner critical voice or self-sabotaging voice, or my more indulgent, impulsive nature? It doesn't work out for me. It keeps keeping me trapped. Why do I do that? How did they? Maybe people would take the time to educate themselves. I don't know. Tell us about the coffin and the imprisonment card. King of Pentacles, Hangman, because of the King of Pentacles. I have two of the same deck combined. I think some people that you moved away from are people who are very aligned with their worldly nature and money and materialism and status and image, and they are stuck, unwilling to see life from any other perspective, unwilling to learn some life lessons about getting out of their more wanting to present themselves as a certain way in the world, of having image and materialism, or in their ego of like operating from ego. I don't know, very stubborn and prideful. And they also might be stuck on someone else who's also very materialistically ego-focused. And maybe they're not in a relationship right now. Because again, if people want to be in relationships with other people because of money and materialism and status and image, they could go to get in that relationship. But then the other person, if they see someone else who has more money and image and status, it's like, oh, sorry, they have more money. I'm going over there. Or they indulge me more than you indulge me in my greed or my stubbornness. And I want someone to indulge me in my greed and stubbornness. And you're not indulging me. So I'll go find someone who is, There's some people who are really stuck in their pride and ego. And they could be really stuck in their pride and ego about freeing themselves. We have to be, pride comes before the fall, right? We have to be willing to get out of our egoic nature and realize we had some lessons to learn if we want to move forward feeling proud of ourselves, if we want to move forward with other loving people who are generous and giving and loving. To think that generous and loving, giving people are going to want to stay in a relationship with someone who's stubborn and prideful and egotistical, and shadowy Aries could be people who are bossy and controlling. It's like my way or the highway. It's all about my wants, my needs, my lusts, my greed. It's like, good luck. So tell us about the sudden wealth and the main female. Again, main female, that could be the emotional foundation running their life right now. Their emotional foundation is not abundant at all. It's operating from pride and ego. And they might be trying to manipulate someone in a relationship. Someone in the Nine of Pentacles. For some people, it could be a Virgo. For others, it's just someone who's single who has money. And they want to try to manipulate that person to get into a relationship with them because they're very motivated by money and materialism. Tell us about the expectation and the message of concern, or they could not be listening to their more loving, intuitive nature, and they're not listening to their intuition. Just like they align with their egoic nature, they're rejecting their more loving, intuitive nature. And also, they're rejecting the loving, intuitive people in their life. And those people maybe also aren't communicating with them anymore. And they're also not communicating with them because that isn't who they want to align with. We have the Devil, the Six of Pentacles, and the Five of Swords because of the Seven of Wands. They could have been in a relationship with some loving people in their life, but they were toxic in shadowy Capricorn energy. They were defensive, bossy, controlling, manipulative, prideful, egotistical, not coming from a loving place, or just being in fear and insecurity and defensive. And the loving people are like, we're trying to maybe balance things out with them and work together with them, trying to get them in the Five of Swords, Aquarius energy, to see life from a higher perspective, to get out of their fear and insecurity, to get out of letting their ego and their fear run their life. But if someone is very self-protective and they don't trust other people, they've been hurt before, they don't want to be hurt again, maybe they don't have a very strong emotional foundation within themselves to believe that they could weather emotional storms in their life, so they want to play it safe. There too, when people get in relationships and they don't trust other people, they can be very controlling and it can get very toxic and unhealthy. And eventually, the people who had hope and faith and belief and were trying to work it out eventually realized, I've got to stand up for myself. This is unhealthy, and I deserve better than this. High vibe Leo energy of the Seven of Wands. I got to take some bold creative action to stand up for myself. This is not my dream. I have been trying to work with you. I have been trying to see things from your perspective. I've maybe been loving and giving and warm in high vibe Leo energy. But there comes a point in time where, it takes two. And if they're not putting work and effort to be more balanced within themselves and see life from a higher perspective and stand up against their more fearful, insecure nature, and maybe stand up to some people in their life who are also encouraging them to probably be in fear and insecurity and pride and ego and defensiveness, because that way they'll align with them and they can manipulate and control them for their own prideful, egotistical reasons. It's like, if you're not willing to stand up for yourself, I can't make you. I can't make you believe in yourself. I can't make you love yourself. I can't make you stand up against other people who maybe try to manipulate and control you to be in your pride and ego and live your life from that way and be self-centered and your own ego nature. That's spiritual warfare. You got to battle within yourself. And when you win that battle within yourself, you will stand up to other people who are trying to manipulate and control you, who are also maybe in shadowy energy, who are self-centered or egotistical or manipulative. You'll quit aligning with those people. And until you do, I'm standing up for myself, and I'm putting in work and effort in my Taurus energy to overcome my own fears and insecurities. And I'm taking creative, inspired action to have hope and faith and belief in my dreams. And I'm willing to change. You, on the other hand, might be defending your more worldly, greedy, or indulgent or ego nature. And you want to exchange resources with other people who might be very either defensive and in codependent, so you can manipulate and control them, or other people who seem to be very successful in life, who have money and materialism, and you want to go exchange resources with them because you want to look like a shining star in the world, because you have inner conflict about making your life about love. Well, go get in that relationship. Enjoy. The loving people let go of people, and maybe the unloving people also let go of you and disappointed you. Whichever. Loving people weren't willing to give up on their dreams and let negative energy get another team player. I'm not going to stay in sadness and regret. I'm not going to keep focused on people who are chained to the past or their fear or their world or their ego or their unloving nature. I'm going to keep moving forward in hope and faith and belief in my dreams. Let's go see about the people moving forward in high honor. The Ten of Pentacles, because of the Queen of Wands, they are connecting in with themselves emotionally, and the Sun energy is like life-giving energy. Being bold, being brave, being your authentic nature, loving yourself so that you don't let your ego nature run your life, listening to your intuition to guide you, and your worldly foundation. You present yourself in the world as very stable and grounded in high vibe Virgo energy, like you have gone within to gain insight and wisdom, to be in life-giving energy of love and hope and faith, and to love and encourage yourself every day. And you are the one truly moving forward in high honor. The other person might get in a relationship with someone who has money and materialism. By worldly standards, some people who value those things will value them as being someone who's very successful. But, you know, you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all of the people all the time. There's going to be some people, by the different ways people move forward in life, and if they're really authentic, or if they kind of present more of a facade to the world of being all these things, being bold and brave and confident and loving and just and fair and loyal and committed, when they're not. It's just a social mask they wear. They're superficial. They're really not authentic. It's more about money and materialism and ego. People will be illuminated to the truth. You've been illuminated to the truth. Tell us about the message of concern. Queen of Pentacles, because of the Seven of Swords. We reap what we sow. You, the queens, again, talk about our emotional state. You invested time, energy, and effort into growing and maturing yourself emotionally so that you could get out of your mental conflict about a dream that you had, to see the truth of it and not be in denial of the truth. When people make free will decisions, they either are willing to put in work and effort with you and be open and honest and loving, or that's not their dream. And we can keep staying in illusion about it, and we can keep being focused on people in our past who didn't choose to be open and honest and loving with us, or we can see the truth and not be deceived, because the Seven of Swords is about manipulation and deception. It can be in shadowy energy, where people are kind of being self-centered and egotistical and want things their way, or they just want a more worldly based life and look like a shining star in the world. That's what drives and motivates them. And you loved and nurtured yourself about people who hurt you, and the other people didn't. And they could still have illusions about people in their past, not seeing people clearly, letting their ego and their fear cloud their judgment, and they're chained now to their maybe fear and ego, and it's got a hold of them. And some of them are still looking back to someone in their past that they want to be in a relationship with, but the person they could have gotten in a relationship either is listening to their intuition about this person, and they're standing up against this person because they think they might sense, if they're listening to their intuition, that this person is not healthy, that they want to be in a relationship with them for the wrong reasons, and they're standing up for themselves. And this person is getting concerned if they are going to have a new beginning with that person who has money and materialism. They wanted to be a partner with that person without being truthful and honest and loving and open. Like, I can just present illusion. Can I manipulate you and control you? Aren't you fearful? Aren't you insecure? Aren't you lustful? Aren't you greedy? Perfect. I'll be your marriage partner. I'm offering you these things of the world. Don't you want to be in a relationship with me? And there could be some people in their past who would like to be in a relationship with them, but they're listening to their intuition and it's like, no, I don't trust you. I think my intuition is telling me that you operate from ego in relationships and not love. I think you're being deceptive. For other people, they're not seeing the people they want to be in a relationship clearly. And the person they want to be in a relationship with is even more maybe stubborn and materialistic than them. But they really want to exchange resources with that person because maybe that's only one of the people they know that has money and materialism that they think they could get in a relationship with. And they want to repeat these patterns of relationship. And maybe they think this person has kind of grown up in a similar way of life as them, that they kind of have that same philosophy of life. So it's like, you'd be perfect. I want us to move forward together. But for some reason, the person they want to be in a relationship with isn't. And they're getting concerned about if they're going to have a new beginning. And the divine is trying to encourage them to learn some lessons that for some of them, they were deceived and manipulated by someone. Someone gave the impression that they were stable and grounded and wanted to be in a relationship with them, that they didn't want it to be over. And the people who came to come be in a relationship with them let go of listening to their intuition and aligning with loving people in their life because they felt like they'd missed an opportunity with someone in their past. And if they have regrets about someone in their past, that person in the past disappointed them. But now the person presented themselves saying, oh no, I'm different. I've learned lessons. I've seen life differently. I'm more mature than I was before. And so this person still wanted to be in a relationship with them. They could be very attracted to them with the devil card. It can talk about, that. And they wanted to exchange resources with that person. That person was willing to let go of everything to defend getting in a relationship with this person. But then, as they maybe move forward, they could have gotten concerned because the person they went to go get in a relationship could have went back to their old ways of acting more from shadowy energy, of being the Ten of Pentacles and the Sun card and Leo together in shadow can be people who are very stubborn, unbudging in the Ten of Pentacles, and very much operating from ego and liking to be emotionally manipulative and controlling. And so some of the people who didn't listen to their intuition, if they could look at, they're really sad, because like, shit, I rejected loving people in my life to go get in a relationship with someone else that, and the whole thing is, the reason people could have really been attracted to someone in their past, again, because there was lessons they had to learn. Maybe it was seeing clearly the truth about some people in their past, that the people in their past, if they left them in regret before, because they were stubborn and prideful and egotistical and maybe more about money and materialism, do people really change much? And they had illusions about this person being different, and they weren't. Well, are people going to learn lessons in life? Are they willing to no longer be deceived by someone? Are they going to climb that mountain of their fears, their insecurities, their ego, to get to where they know their own worth and value and love and nurture themselves and give themselves everything they wish this person in their past would have given them, and see the truth about them and no longer be an illusion about them, and love and nurture themselves and accept the gift of love. And I think that's why things happen in life. We get in relationships with people and we're supposed to not be caught up in our illusions about them. You know, sometimes we can project who we are onto them, and then other people project a certain facade to the world of being, harnessing all these traits and characteristics, and they really don't. But, you know, it takes time to see the truth of who people really are. And we can be really sad because we thought a dream was going to come into reality. We thought people had put an end to their old ways of being, but they hadn't. What we thought was really going to be abundant and loving in our life isn't. Are we willing to go with the flow and deal with our pain and heartbreak and free ourselves and love ourselves and nurture ourselves and learn the lesson we were meant to learn from that, so we're not as gullible or naive as we were in the past? Life's all about learning lessons and growing and maturing ourselves and getting out of illusion and fantasy land. So some people already learned those lessons. They got in relationships with people who hadn't. Those people are moving on. You know, they're moving forward, trying to encourage other people in the world to move forward in life, because love's the only thing that heals. And other people right now have not learned that lesson, and they're still unwilling to align. They might be in shadowy energy, which again can just be fear and insecurity. I don't offer love to my foundation. I live my life from a more fearful, egoic, materialistic way of life. And I still think that's the truth. And I'm still focused on the past. Some people who are really shadowy energy, those people want to repeat patterns of the past and be in relationships with other people who emotionally feel stuck. Cool. Come get in a relationship. Let me indulge in a relationship with you. Let's exchange hugs and kisses and maybe some money and materialism. I want to win at all costs, by the way. I'm defensive. But if you don't believe in yourself and you have fear and insecurities and don't believe in yourself and haven't learned how to love yourself, let's go on a journey of teaching you to love yourself. Let's go move forward in life and look like we've had a new beginning that seems so stable and secure. And then over time, you'll start to feel concerned about if this really was a gift, or if you should start seeing through the illusion that I presented and love and nurture yourself and go on a journey of dealing with your own self-limiting beliefs so that you can be one of the people who frees himself and doesn't get in a relationship with people like me anymore. You know, there's always going to be people in the world who are in shadowy energy at any given moment, and you have to listen to your intuition about them. There could be other people in the world as you're moving forward in your life that are waiting for you to free yourself because they are very attracted to you and they would like to exchange time, energy, and effort with you. They're waiting to see if you've changed and if you've stood up for yourself. And when you have freed yourself from the past, they want to have a new beginning with you because they see that you are someone who's loving and giving and nurturing and grounded and stable and doesn't play petty, emotionally ego-based games. And you're just the kind of person they want to be in a relationship with. At which time, the shadowy people might get concerned that you're going to go create your dreams into reality. And they were just kind of living a life of facade. And maybe you seem like the successful person to be with. And they might try to come on back and deceive and manipulate you again. And you're like, you know, I wish you peace, but I'm moving on. So there you go, Aries energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.